Hey everyone, welcome to Our Mixed Media Moods for April. It is the collaboration between Dee Dee Catron and myself where we make mood boards and then projects based on those mood boards. So this is April's mood board, very springy, very pinky with some nice gray tones in there as well. And I'm starting out on a piece of watercolor paper, and the watercolor paper has a piece of ledger paper covering it, and then the ledger paper has a nice light layer of gesso on top of it, thin enough so that you can still see the writing from the ledger through it, but I wanted to put a little something down to protect my page so that the paint doesn't just seep into the paper. And then I'm also going to put some vertical stripes of this Tim Holtz washi tape around in the center of my page. And then the mood board has these like tiles in the lower right hand corner, and I'm going to try to mirror that element by making some square tiles out of ledger paper. Now this is ledger paper that is different than the paper in the background. This is older and it's more like scripty and more fancy looking. So I'm going to take my squares and kind of layer them around on my page, and I'm just going to use a layer of Collage matte under them and over them to kind of sandwich them in on my page. And I'm just going to put them around until I'm happy with the way that they look. And the mood board has in the upper right hand corner, it says "In Pursuit of Magic," and I'm going to take that quote right off the board and stick it on my page. And I'm going to take the words "in" and "magic" with some tan stickers. I wanted to do the whole thing in white stickers, but I didn't have enough white sticker letters. So, you know, half tan, half white. You gotta work with what you got, right? So I'm just gonna do "Pursuit of" in white. And then I'm gonna take my Blick gesso, which is not marketed as a heavy gesso, but it is quite a bit heavier, and that's why I chose that, because I'm going to apply that with a palette knife, and I'm going to run it around my page so that it like catches on the corners of my little squares and on the letter stickers. But I'm also going to at the same time blend some of that out with my fingers so it's like soft and you can see some of the background through it. So essentially I have two different kind of variations of the gesso on my page. And then the mood board, the lower photos in the right and left hand corners have this lovely gray color that I wanted to try to make. So I have Elephant, Marine, and White by Dina Wakley, and I'm just going to mix them together until I come up with a color that is close enough to the color on the mood board until I'm happy. And I'm going to use my Wow Studio spray bottle to add a little bit of water to that, put a little on my page, and then add a little more water to get it moving and flowing around. And look at how those letters pop now. Oh, I love that so much. I love when you put like stuff in the background and then you add the paint and then everything pops. Oh, so good. So I'm just going to move that around until I'm happy with it, and then I'm going to dry that whole layer. And the mood board in the middle there has some cherry blossom flowers, so I want to kind of try to kind of mirror that on my page. So I'm going to take some more of that same Blick gesso, and I'm going to take a paintbrush that's kind of rounded, and I'm going to try to make some petals. So I'm going to hold my paintbrush like flat, and then I'm going to twist it so that towards the base of the petals it gets thinner. So it's thicker at the top, and then I'm going to twist it so it gets thinner. And it took me a while to get the hang of this. The first two weren't that great. And then I'm just going to go in with a second layer to kind of thicken up that gesso a little bit and make them a little bit more opaque. And then I'm just going to draw some like little falling soft buds down at the bottom and up at the top. And I'm going to take my Stabilo Marxol, which is a water-soluble black pencil, and my gesso is still wet. I'm going to hold the pencil like kind of in the middle very loosely, and I'm going to sketch the outline of my petals, and then I'm also going to draw like a blobby thing in the center. And I have two pencils. They're both Stabilos, but as the one got dull, I pulled out the other one so that I could always have a sharp point on my pencil. And then while everything is still wet, I'm going to take my blushing acrylic paint by Dina Wakley. And I'm going to use that same paintbrush. Sorry, guys. And I'm going to add some of that pink in there. It's going to mix a little bit with the white gesso because that's still wet. And because my pencil is water soluble, it's also going to be activated by the acrylic paint. And it's going to add a little bit of darker color where the pink meets the Stabilo line, which the reason I use this Stabilo is because I wanted that activation to happen because I like how it kind of looks like it's a shadow a little bit. Now, my first flower did get a little not so great looking, but we're going to work it out. So I'm going to go in with, while everything is still wet again, I'm going to go in with a smaller squared paintbrush and some more white paint. Actually, this is white paint this time. This is the Dina Wakley white. And I'm just going to add some white to my petals. I'm going to widen some of those petals. I'm going to go right over the Stabilo line. And I'm making it very loose and sketchy. I'm trying not to really blend it too much or make it too smooth looking. And then I'm going to add a little bit more pink in. I'm just going in with layers until I'm happy with the way it looks. And in the end, I was pretty pleased with how it turned out. So I'm just going to add a little less in of the pink for some darker areas of that pink here and there. And then some more touches of white, just back and forth until I'm happy with the way it is. And then I'm going to take a piece of cheapy tissue paper. This is like from the dollar store, so it's super duper thin. And I'm just tracing my flowers because I want to make some petals, but I don't want to have to put paint all over my tissue paper because you guys know my Dina Wakley paint is precious. We can't be wasting it. So I'm just going to concentrate that paint. I turned my paper over so that I wasn't going over the pencil lines, but you could still see them through because it's tissue paper. So I'm just going to go in with the same pink and white layers like I did on the background page until I'm happy with the way it looks. But I'm being very loose with it because it's not that serious, because I'm going to cut out the petals and I'm going to bunch them up. So you're not really even going to be able to tell too much about details and stuff. So I'm just going to cut out some petals, and like I said, I'm going to bunch them up at the bottom, and my plan is to run them through the sewing machine so that they look like cherry blossoms that are like falling down off the tree. And cherry blossoms to me look very like loose and crinkly and like soft and thin, so that's why I chose the tissue paper. And you can see there I just ran the bottoms through my sewing machine where they were bunched up, and then I let my machine keep running so that the bobbin thread and the top thread, I don't know what the top thread's called. Does it have a name? I'm sure it does, right? But I don't know what it's called. But yeah, so I let my sewing machine run so that they kind of like braided, and that's what they're gonna hang down off of. So then for my focal image, I have a piece of medical gauze that I stole from the first aid kit. I hope no one gets injured and needs it because it's in my craft room. And then I got this vintage, it was called Boil Fast thread. And it came in this like box, this delightful blue color, and there were like 6 rolls in there. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these rolls, but it was just too pretty to not get. But it matched the gray like perfectly. And then I have these vintage UK bus tickets that are a pink, a nice like dusty pink color that matched perfectly as well. And actually I have entire rolls of them for sale in my Etsy, and I also have individual tickets for sale if you're interested in those pink UK bus tickets. I will put a link to my Etsy in the description down below. But then I just ran everything through my sewing machine. So I stitched my photo down, I stitched that gauze down, I ran like the whole outside through the sewing machine, and then that's it for my page. Yeah, so be sure to check out Dee Dee's project. It is amazing. I saw it already. Of course it's amazing because she's amazing. So I will leave a link down below to her video if you want to play along. We love that sort of thing. So you can join our Facebook group, which I'll link down below. You can hit us up on Instagram, which is at Our Mixed Media Moods. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. The link to my Etsy will also be in the description box. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye bye, guys.